It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mad? Could you be mad? Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again. Real Ken's TV and the House Like Kitchen Sinks. Now, before I get into today's video, if you will, understand that I'm the self-proclaimed Mr. 30 Minutes or Better. Meaning that anytime I drop you a story, it's guaranteed to be 30 minutes or better. So if you're on your way to work, you don't feel like being there as we so often don't. Co-workers talking your head off, getting on your nerves and shit. You're on your way home from work, you need to laugh, you need to cry. Perhaps you're trying to lay down and take a nap, or you're trying to go to sleep at night. Depending on whatever time you're listening to or viewing this video, or you're just in the mood for a good old-fashioned true, keyword being true, penitentiary / life story / life experience, this is the channel for you. If you prefer your 8 to 12 to 15-minute videos, absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But at Real Ken's TV, it's 30 minutes or better. So with all that being said, with all that wrapped up into one big old nut, shell that is, there is a message. Now, before we get into today's video, I want y'all to jump in the comment section and let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. Come on, Ken's motherfucker, we know where you at. Yeah, but the newer viewers don't know where I'm at. So lay back, kick your feet up, and just rock with me. Let me know, you rocking with Real Ken's or whatever. Let it be known. I have a serious issue that I really want to discuss today. I get on here sometimes and I tell funny stories, I tell sad stories, I tell, serious stories, But this particular story today, man, is something that's really lightweight, been on my heart. Not even gonna necessarily say lightweight, but it's consistently been on my heart. And I've had some people, not all, but I've had some people jump in my comments. I've even had people email me, Real Ken's TV at Yahoo. Real Ken's TV at Yahoo. If you want to get at me about an idea or whatever the case may be, that's what it is. Let's say Real Ken's. It just seems like you're always defending Fleece Johnson. Seems as though you have an alliance with Fleece Johnson. Do you approve of the things that Fleece Johnson was doing while he was in prison? Do you know that he was a grapist? These are their words. Some of you all's words, not all of you all, but some of your words. You not know that this guy was in prison graping people? But yet, we consistently see you shouting out Fleece Johnson. We consistently see you, sending people to Hustler Spirit 502, featuring Big Lee and Fleece Johnson. I really took these comments into consideration. I'm not so impulsive these days, so I took a little time to actually just sit back and reflect and to really think about, why do I shout out Fleece Johnson so much? Now, the obvious is the obvious. Fleece Johnson's in Kentucky. I'm in Kentucky. He's in Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville, chopper, chill. Yeah, he's in Louisville, 502, Louisville Cardinals. I'm in Lexington, about 65, 70 miles apart. Go UK Wildcats. Always been rivals as far as on the sports spectrum, if you will. But even in the penitentiary, on the days that Louisville plays Kentucky, man, so many people get their wigs split. And basketball, football, yeah, but not so much football. But basketball, for years, going all the way back to when I went on a Scared Straight program at Eddyville back in, I don't know the exact year, but if I had to guess, I would say it was roughly 1990, 91, 92. I was a teenager. I was a young man. Out of all the times that they could have scheduled, they scheduled us on the day that the University of Kentucky played the University of Louisville. Saturday afternoon. Never will forget, we were walking around Eddyville. I'm sure Fleece Johnson was probably there. I don't recall seeing Fleece Johnson, but looking back, I'm quite sure that he was there, being that he did the majority of his time there. You hear the alarm go off. Nothing like a prison alarm. When it goes off, man, you better get your ass down. The alarm goes off, or you better follow instructions. If they tell you to immediately report to your unit, go back to your dorm, it's probably what you need to do, man. Or you subject to get shot. You got COs in the guards tower, way high up. You know what I'm saying? And they got them shotguns, man, and they'll shoot you dead, man. Hear the alarm go off. I'm a young teenager. Come to find out, UK Louisville game, somebody ended up getting stabbed. We come out and finally they cleared it. We were able to come out of the room that they had us in. You just see drops of blood, big like spatters of blood, trails. Somebody had gotten their wig split. Probably somebody said something about, Louisville winning or Kentucky winning, losing, vice versa, however you want to put it. Somebody got their wig split, man. So Kentucky or Lexington and Louisville have always been major rivals in the penitentiaries. Knowing that, why would you, again, defend Fleece Johnson? I want to take you all back. I want to somewhat paint a picture. Obviously, I wasn't there. Fleece Johnson went to prison in the mid-70s. The mid-70s, Fleece Johnson went to prison. Perhaps I wasn't even born yet. Perhaps a lot of you all weren't even born yet. The 15-year-old kid. Not condoning any of Fleece Johnson's activities, anything that he did as far as a negative aspect, but I just want to put you all in the mind frame, in the space, in Fleece Johnson's head, if you will. Pause, double pause, triple pause. And look at things from a different perspective opposed to just looking at what you see on television, because everything that you see doesn't just because you've seen it doesn't necessarily mean that it went that way. You send a 15-year-old, 16-year-old kid to prison, not to juvenile jail, whatever. You send him straight to prison. 16 years old by the time he gets to prison, man. He didn't unalive anybody. He didn't grape anybody. He didn't go on a spree to where he was terrorizing the streets. Don't get it misconstrued. He was terrorizing the streets in Louisville, Kentucky, robbing and stealing cars and, going at the police. But a child is a child. How can you take a child that's below the age of 18? Hell, 18 is still a child, but just not in the eyes of society. How can you take a 16-year-old, and at the time of his arrest, he was 15, decide to try him as an adult and send him to prison with lions, tigers, goons, gorillas, bears, and hyenas? It's not like he went to a little kiddie camp, Blackburn or Marion County or Frankfurt Career Development Center. No, man, they sent him to Eddyville, man. Home of death row, man. Maximum security. Now, Eddyville has drastically changed since then. A whole lot of check-ins are at Eddyville now. For y'all that don't know what check-ins mean, it's just basically the people that they don't want to spend their time on an actual prison yard, so they check in for the safety. And a lot of them dudes that may be there under the check-in guidelines or whatever, there's reasons for everything. Put it that way. Some of them are just trying to get back to their boyfriends. Sad to say, sick to say, however you want to put it, but that's the truth. Some of them just fear what they'll do to an individual. So I'd rather go to Eddyville. I get a one-man cell. I don't have to deal with two people in a cell. I don't have to deal with a whole lot of things. So a lot of people will check in and they'll go to Eddyville. At the time when Fleece Johnson in the mid-70s, man, Eddyville was just not somewhere where you wanted to be. It's not safe. It's not safe now. No prison is safe now. No jail is safe now. But in the mid-70s, you did not want to be in Eddyville. Kentucky State Penitentiary. Look it up if you don't believe me. Everything that I say is truly documented. Everything that I say, you can truly get online and look it up. You be like, man, real Kens, man, he keeps it all the way 100. You send this 16-year-old to a prison, the roughest prison in Kentucky. The most violent prison in Kentucky at the time. He doesn't really know anybody. He's 16. You got grown men in here. You got people that's been in prison 30, 40, 50 years. And here it is, he's 16 years old. So the mentality that he had when he's walking into this horrific environment that he was just not supposed to make it out of, I got to do what I got to do. I got to do what I got to do to protect me. I got to do what I got to do to survive by any means necessary. See, the penitentiary is a dog-eat-dog world. It's kill or be killed. Yes, that's what the penitentiary, you're a man, you're a mouse. And I've made these references several different times before. It's not a game. I know you all see penitentiary on TV and you see certain things, and some of the things that you may see are true and some of the things are not true. But this Eddyville was no joke. So you take a 16-year-old kid and you place him in a cell, and Fleece tells a story, and I'm going to retell the story. You place this guy in a cell. You place Fleece in a cell with a known gorilla / bandit. Booty bandit. A lot of people love to hear about these booty bandit stories in prison. This is something for you. Imagine your son. A lot of y'all have sons out there. Imagine your son going to prison and being thrown into a cell, with a gorilla / booty bandit. Now, let me tell you about this gorilla. It's not just the average, everyday, mean guy. This guy, big, black, muscle, 6'1", 6'2", weighing in at, 240, 250, been locked up 12, 13, 15, 20 years straight. Like I said, muscles everywhere. He looked like a G.I. Joe action figure. More important than water is what Fleece says. More important than water. This guy is so serious about his booty, being a booty bandit, that he doesn't even pleasure himself. He'll just wait. 5, 10 years, he'll just wait to catch his victim. And that's when he'll release. I'm just keeping it all the way real, man. Got Fleece in this cell with him. What's up, youngster? This is how Fleece talk. This is how Fleece depicted the situation. What's up, youngster? Fleece, he all, hey, how you doing, man? And you can only imagine how he talked when he was 16. You acting all scared in the cell for. I'm not scared. I just shut up. Come on over here and get you some of this chili, man. Now, one of the things that you're taught when you go to prison, prior to going to prison, is never accept anything from anybody. No matter what the circumstance, don't accept anything from anybody. Get you a bowl of this chili. Oh, man, I'm just saying, man, I'm cool, man, but thank you anyway. Oh, what you think you too good? You think you too good, youngster? Chili that I've been slaving, over the stove. Ain't no stoves in prison, but, you got microwaves, you got hot pots. Been slaving over the stove. Make sure, you good. And you too good to eat this chili. Now, I just don't want to accept anything because I don't know when my money's coming. My people are going to send me some money, but I ain't know when. I didn't ask you about no money, youngster. Now you're going to eat this chili. Got to keep in mind that in prison, man, you eat at about 5:30. After that, you don't eat again until 5:30 in the morning. That's if you eat whatever they cook. The food is absolutely garbage. And that may have been a lot better back then. But now, the food is garbage in prison. Absolutely garbage. So best case scenario, you're going to eat 12, 13 hours later. You're in a cell. You locked in a cell. You can't get out. You got this dude fixing this chili. He's smelling the onions, the pepper. He got the hot sauce. He got the fried potatoes on the side that he done made with the chili. He got the cup of Kool-Aid or the juice or whatever. And he's offering you this and you turning it down, but you got the crackers that you crush up and, put in the chili. So you turning these things down, but really in your mind, man, your stomach is growling and rumbling and you want this chili. But you know that it's detrimental to your health if you take this chili. In your mind, you know these things. But how can I turn this down? Because I'm already, no, sir, I'm good, thank you. But I got a guy that's 3 times my age. 2.5 times my age. Hell, twice my age now. You gonna eat some of this chili, man. What do? You eat the chili. Man, that was good, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Remember, you're in a little bitty cell. Got a set of beds, bunk beds, top rack, bottom rack. You got a sink that's attached to the toilet, and you got a desk about the size of your restroom. 2 grown men in this cell. Fleece takes the chili, eats it. You gonna wash my bowls out, man. Oh, yeah, no problem. It's the least you can do. Somebody done fed you. I done that before. Y'all cooked or whatever. My money hadn't hit, but the people was a lightweight, knew them, so yeah, I washed the bowls out. No problem. It's not, uncommon. Next night comes. Next night comes. Next night comes. This individual, this bandit, he continues to do the same thing. He's cooking, which he was doing these things prior to Fleece coming into the cell anyway. Food is smelling good. You got that banquet chicken. You got burgers. You got chicken tenders. You got jack mackerel with the bed laid on top of the bed of rice. It's all type of things that you can fix in prison. Salmon. And he's sharing it with Fleece Johnson. Again, I'm not making excuses. I'm just giving you all a better perspective. Did Fleece have to accept that food? No. But if he didn't accept the food, it seemed as though dude was gonna beat him to death. Fleece is little, man. Fleece is 5'11", and he was 5'11" back then. I would imagine that Fleece said he weighs about 170 now, somewhere right around in that range. So just imagine when he was 16 years old, 50 years ago. What was he weighing? 120, 130? Little bitty kid. And you got this gorilla, 6'1", 6'2", 240, 250, been working out, 12, 13, 15, 20 years straight. Straight muscle, like this dude, is physically imposing, physically just like intimidating. You in a cell with him and you can't get out. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. You can't bang on the door. Help, help. I guess you could technically. But guess what? Now the whole penitentiary is going to look at you as a rat. And everybody's going to try to expose you. Everybody's going to come for you because they know you're not going to fight for yourself. Fleece senses danger. Fleece sensed danger the first night that he was even in the cell with this individual. But he knows that it's at some point it's going to hit the fan. People talk on the yard, inmate.com. People talk on the yard. They're allowing Fleece to know, man, you in the cell with a bandit. Now, this is prior to Eddyville going to one-man cells. At first, it was two men in a cell. Two mans, as Fleece would say. You get out for rec time, or you go to work if you're fortunate enough to have a job, or, you go to lunch, breakfast, dinner, whatever. Because you don't really get that much time at Eddyville on the yard. Back then, you didn't. You might get a couple hours out or whatever, if you're lucky. Primarily in your cell all day with another individual. Think about how miserable that must be to just be in a cell with another person that you don't even know. And y'all in there all day long. You can be in there with your best buddy, your best partner. It'll be cool because that's your partner and y'all can talk and laugh and joke and argue or whatever. And nothing's really going to happen because it's your partner from the streets that you really knew. But to be in a cell with this individual that you don't even know. When he goes to the bathroom, he got to sit down and blow the cell up. Guess what? You just got to sit there and take it. Put a towel or something over your nose, turn around, turn over or whatever, and allow him to handle his business. Vice versa. Awful situation. Fleece knows, as I mentioned, it's going to hit the fan. He just don't know exactly when, but he senses imminent danger. He knows that it's going to happen soon. So as I mentioned, he's telling a couple people on the yard. They're giving him the 411 on, the dude that he's in the cell with. I don't even remember the dude's name. And I don't want to make up a name. So I'm going to just call him the bandit. Fleece said his name. I just don't remember the guy's name. I'm thinking Fleece said his name. Nevertheless, he was a bandit. You would think that administration and the staff, knowing that dude is a bandit, why would you put a 16, 17-year-old kid? Because, as time goes, he was 15, then you sit in the county for a little bit, then you go to the pen. So why would you put a 16, 17-year-old kid in a cell with a known booty bandit, man? You know why? Because they don't care anything about you. The Department of Corrections, man, wants to fill every bed that they can possibly fill. That's what their goal is. This is what their objective, their motive is. not your safety. Shouldn't have went to prison. That's how they look at it. Shouldn't have went to prison. You went to prison, and now this is what you deal with. Person on the yard tells Fleece, I can get you a knife. I can get you a knife. You're going to need it in the cell with dude, man. It's only a matter of time before he comes for that action. Your bud is mine. Oh, ain't you right? I'm telling you so. You know, Michael Jackson. Fleece gets the knife, and he keeps it concealed. He keeps it tucked away. A couple nights later, the situation ensued again. The situation ensued, but it was one of those things where Fleece was like, nah, I don't want no more food. I appreciate it. So you eat up all my shit. And now you mean to tell me that you don't want none of my food no more? No, sir, it ain't like that. I mean, what, you don't like my cooking? Huh, nigga? You don't like my cooking? One of them deep, intimidating voices. It's your son, 16 years old. No, sir, it's just, come here. Sits down next to Fleece. He starts to come on to Fleece, rubbing on his leg. But you don't like that? Big old strong hands. Pause, double pause. He's rubbing on Fleece, reaches over to whisper sweet nothings in his ear. Gets to trying to kiss him on his cheek and on his neck. Hold on, man. I'm not with that, man. It's Fleece. I'm not with that, man. What you mean you not with it? What you think you better than me? What you think you better than the penitentiary? It's how we get down in here. I'm just saying I'm not with that, sir. Nah, you with it. Ain't no way you gonna eat up all my food and then humiliate me, acting as though I'm not your type, acting as though I'm not good enough for you. You gonna give me that? Listen, sir, I'm gonna try to just please, just leave me alone. I'm just a kid. I don't have no problem. You gonna give me that? And he turns around and punches the wall. Boom! Now, the way that Fleece describes the scene, dude got on these tight-ass biker short type shits. Yeah, that part. Back then, you didn't have to wear uniforms. You could wear your own clothes. Dude got on these short-ass, tight-ass biker shorts with no shirt on. Dude's a gorilla. Once again, I'm going to continue to a gorilla, man. Fleece said when the bandit hit the wall, you ever been in a prison cell? Everything's concrete block. Half his arm goes through the wall. Boom! All you see was just kind of like dust, clouds, smoke in the air. Fleece said he was so distraught, he was so torn about the situation, he forgot that he had the knife that I had mentioned that he got off the yard. He said he totally forgot that he had this knife. He's scared to death. He's telling the dude, all right, man, you can get some of this. Because that's just how afraid he was for his life. Can you imagine being that afraid of where you tell another man, all right, you can get this. I can't. But again, we talking about a 16-year-old kid. Grown man that's at bare minimum double his age. Probably older than that, been locked up for a lot of years straight. Reputation on the yard being tough, rugged, booty bandit. The dust is in the air. It's a big old hole in the wall. Fleece is really, really taken. Oh man, I can't fight this big son bitch. I'm gonna just give him what he wants. Dude comes to Fleece. He's screaming and hollering. Fleece is afraid. He grabs Fleece. He's about to take him. Fleece's own words. He do it the easy way, the hard way. But it's gonna be done. It's gonna be done. Can't no COs come and save you and help you. Hell, they were the ones that contributed to having Fleece put in the cell with this individual. They're not coming to save you. Dude is making his advances towards Fleece. It's your 16-year-old son. Fleece remembered that he had this knife. He grabs the knife. Dude don't even see it. Has no clue that Fleece has it. Cuts him. Stabs out the bleed. Fleece say he caught him in his neck. Hit him a few more times. Dude backs up. He gets to screaming, oh, please help. But now, the same dude, yeah, you go eat this chili. Yeah, what you don't like about food? What you think you too good to eat? Now, please, please. Steve Fleece just commences to just stabbing the dude. As he should have. COs catch wind. They come. They see what's going on. They come in. Situate the situation. Get Fleece up off of him. Fleece said he did so much damage to the dude. He don't even know if the dude was unalived, or to this day, he don't even know what happened to the dude. Blood everywhere in the cell. They take Fleece out. They end up taking Fleece to the hole. It's protocol on the investigation. They got the weapon. They take the dude to infirmary. I would imagine he got airlifted off the yard. See, airlifted means when the infirmary is not enough. Keep wanting to say infirmity. I will make up a word. When the infirmary is not enough, they'll put you in that helicopter and fly you to the nearest university hospital, or in an ambulance if it's close enough. Fleece did some major damage to the dude. Again, as he should. I'm not an advocate for violence, but if you try to take another man's sexually, and that's not what he's with, he deserves what he gets. And Fleece gave him everything that he could possibly give him. Fleece is in the hole. He's just knowing he's going to face additional charges. But that's okay. He's willing to do that. I would be. I'm willing to take extra time. Somebody try to take me, and I did what I had to do to protect me. I'm going to take these extra 10 years, whatever y'all give me. I'd rather have that than have you all up in me, because guess what? If you do it once, you're going to try to do it again. And then again, and then again. So you got to nip that in the bud right off top. Y'all rock with me. Much to Fleece's surprise, they don't even charge him. After so long, they let him out of the hole. He's back on the yard. Now he got the juice. Guess you got the juice now, Fleece. He got the juice. He's known for taking the biggest, toughest, strongest booty bandit out on the yard. 16, 17-year-old kid at this point. Now he has that reputation. Now he's getting that respect on the yard. Years go past. The respect continues to mount because Fleece is turned into I guess a bad boy, for lack of better terms. He done stabbed a couple more people, done whooped a couple more people. He's getting into it with the staff, the officers. He don't give a damn about no police officers, man, or no correctional officers. You're not going to disrespect me no matter what you got on. He done fought them. He done went to the hole, did, 6 months in the hole, year in the hole, got out. They disrespect him. He's going to disrespect them right back. He goes to the hole, so he's built up a reputation on the yard. It's not to be fooled with. Fleece went in with a 10-year sentence. 10-year sentence. But with all of these occurrences, beating people up and whooping guards and throwing feces on the correctional officers and boiling hot water and things of that nature, you end up picking up an additional 15 years. So now you got 25 years. Things continue to go on. He pick up another 3 years here, 5 years here. Fleece has all of this time. He's thinking that I'm never going home because I'm never going to allow nobody to disrespect me. They're going to continue to come at me, the staff, not so much of the inmates. I will have, he did have inmates come at him or whatever. See, prison's a very, very divided, racist place, especially back in the 70s and 80s. Very, very racist. Fleece didn't give a damn. He sat where he wanted to sit, talked to who he wanted to talk to, and did what he wanted to do. It's documented. I've talked to people. We've known about Fleece Johnson and the Kentucky Department of Corrections. I've known about him since I first went to prison. Early 2000s. His name rings around the penitentiary. Was Fleece in prison doing his thing with the same sex? Yes, he admits that. He says that. But he's always maintained that I never took it from anybody. It was a mutual thing. Do I believe that? I've never known Fleece to lie as far as anything that anybody that I've ever talked to. Nobody has ever been like, nah, he be lying. I do think that he used intimidating factors at certain junctures or certain points of his incarceration. So when you hear him on the MSNBC, we gonna, do it the easy way, the hard way. I do believe that he probably used those tactics to, entice the individual that, hey, it's best to do it the easy way. But you a man. You in prison. You in penitentiary. You don't let nobody take you. I'm not saying you can't be taken, because if you get 3, 4, 5 gorillas on you and they holding you down, what can you do? Well, not me. Yes, it will be you if they run at, if they come at you like that. Okay, y'all got me. Y'all got me. But then now what? You think you just gonna live on this yard? Somebody got to go. Somebody got to go. Preferably all of you all. There's nothing I could do at the time, so y'all got me. I'm gonna heal up. And I'm coming back for my revenge. That's what you're supposed to do as a man. Ain't no talking it out. Ain't no, because they gonna come back for you again and again. So you handle that as a man. Staff ain't gonna do nothing for you. You got to handle that. And whatever time that you get, hey, guess what? I can accept that. When the MSNBC documentary or whatever you want to call it came out, and people heard Fleece talking about, easy way, the hard way. If y'all had came in here, he tells the reporters, y'all had been in here a few years ago, I would have grabbed your butt and dared you to say something. I believe Fleece meant a lot of what he said on there. But Fleece went on to talk about how they came to him and was just like, listen, we're going to do a documentary or whatever. And we need you to sound, make this thing sound really, really much more than what it really is. We'll help you on the end as far as getting out. And, I'm sure that they probably threw a couple things his way, commissary or whatever. I'm sure that it was beneficial to him. As he mentioned, I'm never getting out anyway. So I got on there and I said what I said. Again, did I have relationships with dudes and things of that nature while I was in prison? Yes. Speaking as though I'm Fleece Johnson. But did I force anybody to do anything? No. It was willing. They did it because they wanted to do it. Willing participants. I don't agree with any of that. And I'm going to reiterate that. But who am I to judge anybody? Everything that I've done hasn't been perfect. I haven't done anything like that. But I've done things in my life that's not on the up and up. So who am I to judge anybody? Fleece starts to change his life. The last 20 years that he was locked up, he ended up doing 40 years. 10-year sentence, he did 40 years, which means that he probably had 50-something years total, because he gets out on parole after serving 40 years. He's out here on the streets. He's getting jobs, but every time he's at a job, and, he's very good with his hands. All the trades and skills that he had learned while in prison. Fleece, he was a kid. He couldn't even read when he went to prison. Got a GED, learned skills, trades, so he's very good with his hands. Problem was, when he got out here, people realized who he was, Fleece Johnson. They would fire him every time. You know what? I can't deal with this, man. Send me back to prison. Calls 911. Send me back to prison. I'm done with this parole thing, whatever. Send me back. Goes back to prison, takes these classes that they're offering, which knocks off 90 days every time you take a class or whatever. He didn't have much time left anyway. Does another year, and then he comes back out off parole. Not dealing with anything. Still the same situation. He get a job, making nice money, running, the factory, running the whole line. He knows how to drive a backhoe. He knows how to build roofs and decks, but he's Fleece Johnson. And every time somebody finds out that he's Fleece Johnson, guess what? We gotta let you go. So he's just out here, man. He's trying to figure out how I'm gonna survive. He's trying to figure out, like, what am I gonna do? Ends up meeting his wife. Of course, she wasn't his wife when they met, but they ended up getting married. He's turning his whole life around. As I mentioned, the last 20 years, he wasn't even indulging, according to Fleece, he wasn't even indulging in the whole, zestiness in prison. He knew that it wasn't right. He didn't have a way to get his story out, though. Everybody's looking at him like, oh, man, you the bandit, man. We seen you on TV. Now, Fleece has to be accountable because this is what you said. So if you said this on national television, guess what? People's going to only believe, quite naturally, what you said. You said these things. But he had a story to get out there like, yeah, but it wasn't like that. I know I said it, but it wasn't like that whatsoever. Comes Big Lee. Two of them are introduced. Big Lee does his due diligence. He does his homework before starting this YouTube channel because he don't want to make a fool of himself. So he gets all the information that he could possibly get. And he realizes, man, Fleece is telling the truth. This guy wasn't in there graping people. Yeah, he did his thing, but these are willing participants. I got all the, Big Lee got all the jail reports, all the disciplinary reports. Most of Fleece's violence was towards correctional officers. So one might say, well, why is he in there assaulting correctional officers? If you've seen how a lot of these correctional officers acted towards you, you wouldn't feel sorry for them, man. Get you in handcuffs with your hands behind your back and beat you, man. Spraying your face with this bird spray. You can't do anything about it, and they beat you. And they beat you, and they beat you. Fleece Johnson was tortured in the penitentiary. Again, he has to be accountable for his own actions. I'm not here to take up for Fleece Johnson. But what I am here to do is give you all a better insight as far as being in prison, and especially as a 15, 16, 17-year-old kid amongst guerrillas. Fleece split a lot of motherfuckers' wigs in prison, man. A lot. And according to Fleece, he never even lost a fight. I tend to believe that. Dude was not a joke. Breaking handcuffs. You know how hard it is to break a pair of handcuffs? Breaking handcuffs. This dude pulling toilets out of the wall, out of the floor. Metal, steel toilets. Sinks overflooding, flooding the cells out to where they had to get him out of there and put him in another cell. Pulling beds up. Like, these things are bolted to the ground. This dude was a gorilla. A real live gorilla that was not to be fooled with. We look at Fleece now and we laugh and we joke and he's funny, and he probably still not a joke. This dude was a real live gorilla in prison, man. Seems to be doing well now. I was just talking to Big Lee last week. Big Lee and I, we talk, pretty frequently. I'm going to be going up to Louisville, Kentucky here pretty soon. When I say pretty soon, within the next couple weeks. And y'all can expect to see some sort of collaboration with Fleece Johnson and I. Because I want to ask Fleece the questions that I've been in the Kentucky Department of Corrections. So I want to ask him the questions that maybe nobody else can necessarily ask him, because I know exactly what to ask him. Again, I don't condone a lot of the behavior that he partook in. But everybody can change, and it seemed as though he's really turned over a new leaf in life. He's not getting in trouble. He's been home for 10 years. As I mentioned, he's married. He's been able to come on YouTube, regardless of if people believe it, don't believe it, whatever the case may be. He's had an opportunity to clear his name or to give his side. Been in a couple movies, got a couple famous people, Hollywood or whatever, they calling him. They want to hear Fleece Johnson's story. And that's his main goal, is to get his story out. So when you hear me shout out to Fleece Johnson, yeah, we from the same turf, the same state, 65, 70 miles apart. But I believe in redemption. I believe in, a person changing their life. No one sin is greater than the next. So don't look at this next person and be like, yeah, I sinned, but he did this. I didn't do that. That's not the way that God looks at it. My God. If you sin, you sin. You ask for forgiveness and you truly have repented and you truly are trying to not do these things anymore. Not that you won't, but the effort is there. Then you'll be forgiven. I see Fleece as an individual that's ashamed of a lot of the things that he's done in the past. probably wishes that he could change the past. But the past is the past. What's already done is done. You can't, so you move on. You do what you need to do, and you become the best individual that you can possibly become. And I cheer for Fleece Johnson. No, he's not a hero to me. No, he's not my, a knight in shining armor. No person is my knight in shining armor. You know what I'm saying? But I do like an individual that's been able to admit their faults and say, you know what? I did this. It was wrong. I'm going to do better. I'm going to be better. And this is how I'm going to do it. And I see Fleece Johnson really, really turning his life around. I think that he's already turned his life around. So I'm going to continue to shout out Fleece Johnson till I see anything different. And Big Lee and Hustler Spirit 502. There's a lot of bad people in this world. There's a lot of people that's done things that they had no business doing whatsoever. And we consistently cheer them on. But it's as though we have a selective, certain people we can't cheer on. Again, I do not agree with a lot of the things that Fleece Johnson was doing in prison. I don't. But the whole graping and all of that stuff, if Fleece Johnson was in prison graping people, there would be reports of it. Trust me. There would be reports, write-ups, at the bare minimum, the very least. 9 times out of 10, he's going to be charged with something. Never these things don't exist. So before you look at the speck in your brother's eye or your sister's eye or your neighbor's eye or the homeless man's eye or anybody else, get that log out of your eye. One thing for certain, 2 things for sure, you're not perfect. Some of you all act as though you're perfect, but you're not. When you're doing your taxes and I'm not going to report this $10,000. Nobody ever know. It was in cash or it's tax evasion. Tax fraud, whatever you want to call it. Maybe those are not the actual names, but you're not reporting that income that you're supposed to be reporting. So guess what? You're committing a felony yourself. Well, I never got caught. And it's just, don't compare apples to oranges. I wasn't in prison graping people. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Now, when I say it doesn't matter, meaning that you're still committing crimes just as well. When you run that red light, when you clearly see that light is red, are you breaking the law? Oh, come on, kids. It's just a little light. Yeah, but what happens when the other traffic is coming, but because you decided that you couldn't wait for 2 minutes, for 1 minute for that light to turn green and you smash into another car? But you got big money, so you go and get you a $100,000 lawyer, $50,000 lawyer, and he's able to break the case down and beat the case for you or get the charges drastically reduced. Does that mean you're not a criminal? That just means that you had the means to do what most people don't. Stop judging people, man, and understand the truth. Understand the truth before you are so quick to point the finger. He did this. Cast aspersions on, but he did that, and I know he did it. How? Because they said he did it. They said, okay, who is they? Who is they? Yeah, they say a lot, but who is they? Shout out to Fleece Johnson, Hustle Spirit 502, featuring Big Lee. Hopefully y'all like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share, subscribe to the channel. If you're not already, subscribe. Be sure to hit that post notification. Anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. A lot of people have been saying, Kens, we haven't been getting your notifications. At first we were, but now we're not. Fret not. Just check the channel every day. We're not gonna complain about it. We're just gonna keep it moving. Check the channel every day. I'm constantly uploading. Almost every day. If it's not every day, it's 5-6 times a week. And we need to get this channel to where it needs to be. But I can only do that with the help of you all. Need you to like. Definitely need you to comment. I definitely need you all to start sharing my videos. Sharing my videos so that I can reach the masses. You see these channels that have 100,000, 200,000-300,000. They share, they share the videos. So I need you all to help me to really, really get my channel out there to the people. Real Kens TV.